Welcome to Live from the Heart podcast. My name is Anne-Claire Meret. I help beautiful beings feeling empowered to create their lives. I coach, teach, create programs, write books, among other things, and I love it. It took me years of healing and coaching, but I finally found a way back to my heart. Today I thrive and help people thrive too. Everything is happening faster and faster. I feel we are being supported in so many ways. I know we can thrive on a collective level. If you want to create from your heart, you're in the right place. Welcome for a new episode where today I am delighted to welcome Brad Yates. He's my idol. I really, I love you so much. You've done so much for me. You have no idea. I was this lost student in France. In naturopathy, I was studying natural medicine, and I was overwhelmed with stress when I discovered your work about 9-10 years ago. And since then, I've been tapping with you and then sharing your videos with everyone around me. I think you're the person that I refer to the most. So thank you so much for your dedication, for putting out there so many resources about tapping EFT. I'm so grateful for you to be who you are in the world. And thank you for accepting to do this podcast today.
Oh, well, merci beaucoup. C'est mon plaisir. I'm very blessed to get to do what I do. And it's just icing on the cake when I get to hear things like that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Can you please introduce yourself for those of my community who don't know you yet?
So, hi, I'm Brad Yates. I tap on my face for a living, basically. Quite literally, using this process called Emotional Freedom Techniques, or EFT, or simply tapping. And yeah, I've been doing this for a little over 2 decades now. And I've been on YouTube for just over 15 years now. And making short tapping videos. So the tapping process, the simple process for down regulating our stress system, it lowers that stress in a very quick, easy way. And then I like approaching all kinds of different subjects where we might not be living our best lives, and looking at where stress gets in the way, clearing that out, and allowing ourselves the freedom to make better choices so that we feel better, do better, and live better. And ideally get to that place where we live from the heart. And as you were saying before you hit record, talking about when we're living from the heart, we naturally want to share our gifts and make the world a better place. So it's looking at, what goes on inside of our heads and in our bodies that stop us, such that we live from our ego or our fear or all these other places. And we may not make as positive a difference in the world as we could, either limiting ourselves, holding back our gifts, or putting stuff out there that is not our gift. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to get to do what I do, and grateful for this opportunity to chat with you and share this work with your listeners.
Thank you for this beautiful introduction, because it feels today natural to me to serve the world with my gifts, but it was not always that way. And as you said, when I was stressed out, and I used to suffer from insomnia, this is what led me to natural medicine. And I had lots of anxiety. And back then I didn't see how I could serve the world with who I was and why it would make a difference in the world. So I'd like to know if you've always been that way, or if something happened so that you started to serve the world with your gifts.
Yeah, actually, I blame it on my wife. Because before I got into personal development work, I was an actor, and a relatively selfish person. I mean, I was not a mean person. I was a kind person, but I didn't go out of my way. I didn't see my life as a thing of service. I liked to entertain, but it didn't come from a place of, this is how I serve the world with my gifts. It was, this is what's fun, and it's entertaining. But when I met my wife, who was running homeless shelters or homeless programs in Los Angeles, and she was all about service, and like it was right around the time we got married, or shortly after we got married, I actually came in and I was learning hypnotherapy as a side career because we were starting a family and my acting career wasn't quite supporting a family at that point. So I was learning about hypnosis, and I actually got to go in and teach a self-esteem workshop at her transitional housing program. And it's like, wow, this is an interesting idea of being of service. And so over the next couple of years, I was building my hypnotherapy practice while also pursuing my acting career. And when our second child was on the way, I realized that as much as I loved acting, doing personal development work was really what I was called to do. It's like this is really what I think I'm here for. We left Los Angeles, moved to Northern California, and then through some other hypnotherapists, I heard about the tapping work. And I went to a training with Gary Craig, the founder of EFT, and fell in love with it and started little by little introducing it into my hypnotherapy sessions. And then little by little, they became tapping sessions with a little bit of hypnosis at the end. And then YouTube came around, and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was a tapping video that people could start their day with? And I'll call it Tap of the Morning. And that was all I intended to do, was that one video. It's like, okay, I've got a video on YouTube, yay. And then it was like 6 months later, I thought, I should probably have a tapping video to end the day, and I'll call it Tap of the Evening. And then I'm done. And then I had another idea a few months later, and then another one, and now 15 years later, and there's 1,000 plus videos, and that really is that place of trying to be of service, because the videos were never an idea for, oh, here's how I can make money, or here's a marketing thing. It's sort of just directions from upstairs saying, here, people could use help with this, do something about that. Now here's another thing people can use help with, do something about that. So that's just the idea. It's like, all right, it's just my job to put it out there and see if it can make a difference.
Well, it works. And I will share with you my favorite video ever of you. It's Allowing Miracles. And I've tapped with this one. I'm probably half of the views on this one.
I sometimes say when I'll be talking about how many views the website, the channel has gotten, and there will be people who say, yeah, half of those are just me.
Well, so we were talking about the heart and the blockages that prevents us from living from the heart. And so one of the blockages that you had is that you didn't know that it was possible to live like that? Or what was it, because your wife opened the field of possibility for you?
Yeah. And it's not like, I had never been shown service opportunities or anything like that. My mom is a big time volunteer. But yeah, it just wasn't really something that I was spending much time doing. So that was, it was just my wife doing that being such a big part of her life that it's like, oh, well, I should give this a try. Mm-hmm. And, so it was a lot of different things coming together, getting married, taking on this new career in personal development, learning about service opportunities. So just a lot of really cool things all happening all at once. And that's when I played a doctor on TV. So I should say I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV. So
what happened to you when you started to serve? Because usually there is a lot of things that open new possibilities and new synchronicities when we start to do selfless acts, and then it starts to just unfold naturally. We meet the right people and just points of connections like this, just because we were in alignment with source, what wanted to be birthed through us.
Yeah. And again, there were just a lot of things. That was 1996. A lot of a lot of things. I was going through a personal development training program myself that someone else was teaching, and finding out, you know, learning more about myself and what was possible from me. So yeah, it was a big year of opening up to a number of different things,
Mhm.
and finding it joyful. I mean, that's the thing, is that, we so often look at service as, well, it's this self-sacrificing thing that you have to do. You should be good to your fellow human beings no matter what it costs, and it's going to take time and energy, and you may not enjoy it, but no, I love what I do, and it sometimes seems so unfair that I get to do something that people tell me, as you did, I love your work. It makes such a difference. It's so great that you're doing this. And I get all this, good, warm fuzzies for doing it. And I have such a blast doing it. And that's my hope, is that everyone can find that we all find what we love to do, and, and that heart connection, but we don't have a lot of training in that, most of us. We certainly, here in the US, where money is king, and it's go for the money first and not worry about the other stuff, and all kinds of programming, and certainly not just in the US. There's everywhere in the world. There's a lot of unfortunate programming about, don't live your dreams, don't, you're supposed to just work hard and do stuff that you may not enjoy doing, but this and that, and not a lot of opening to finding what really makes your heart sing and what can really be of greatest service to the world. That's why I sometimes, I'm always trying to come up with a good job title for when people ask me what I do. And so one of the ones I came up with is, I'm a gift unwrapper.
You are.
People have gifts inside, but they're wrapped up in wrapping paper, and it's, trying to remove that. And then, so in following that, I've just been directed to the right places, and finding tapping, which to me is such an amazing tool for looking at what stops me from sharing my gifts, what stops me from living from a heart-centered place. What are the fears and doubts that say, no, I can't do that? All of the old programming that says, no, I can't do that, or you shouldn't do that, it's not right. And this is what you're supposed to do. And people teach us from their fears. So we learn from that, and that stops us from coming from the heart. So yeah, tapping is just such a simple tool, and an easy way to break down that stress and that fear. So when we look at it, thinking, what would it be like if I lived from my heart? What would it be like if I really got in touch with what I loved and what my gifts are, and I just allowed myself to share them and put them out there and make a difference? I did a workshop last year called Being Mad, MAD, making a difference. So
Oh.
be making a difference, be mad, this madness, and looking for what stops us from that, and then doing some tapping to clear out. It's so. In fact, I'll invite folks. Everybody, close your eyes, take a deep breath,
Let's do it.
and let it go, and just allow yourself to be present in the moment, following your breath through your body. And now draw your attention to your heart. Even see if you can get in touch with your heartbeat. This is something I do every morning. It's part of my morning routine, is just get in touch with my heartbeat, because it's such a phenomenal thing to go, wow, there's this thing inside my body that is keeping me alive and does so much more than that. We're finding out more and more that, how important the heart is. It's not just pumping oxygen. And so get in touch with that, and just allow yourself to be aware of any tension, any resistance. Say, I choose to live from my heart. And I choose to share my gifts. And again, following your breath through your body, just allow yourself to be aware of how that feels. Notice the excitement, that part that goes, oh yeah, that's awesome. But also notice those parts that might go, are you kidding me? No, I'll get hurt. I'll be ridiculed. I won't make enough money. I won't be able to take care of myself and all these things. So just allow yourself to be aware of the thoughts, beliefs, and memories that might come up as to why you couldn't or shouldn't live from your heart and share your gifts in a bigger way. And allow yourself to do this with curiosity rather than judgment. Don't judge yourself for having those thoughts. You've come by those honestly. You have been taught how to be afraid. You can take another deep breath, open your eyes if you haven't already, and just allow yourself to be aware of that. And what do you think? You want to do a quick tapping round on this?
Let's do it.
All right. So for those of you who are not familiar with EFT, what we're going to do is we're going to take the fingertips of our index and middle finger on your dominant hand and gently tap on the side of your opposite hand. So right there on the edge of your hand between your wrist and your pinky. Just gently tapping there. And so just keep tapping and then repeat back what I say. Even though I may be afraid to live from my heart.
Even though I may be afraid to live from my heart.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I may be afraid to live from my heart.
Even though I may be afraid to live from my heart.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
Even though I may be afraid to live from my heart.
Even though I may be afraid to live from my heart.
Even though it sounds kind of awesome.
Even though it sounds kind of awesome.
It also sounds kind of scary.
It also sounds kind of scary.
I've learned that hearts are fragile.
I've learned that hearts are fragile.
So I have a lot of programming.
I have a lot of programming.
About how to keep my heart in a bunker.
About how to keep my heart in a bunker.
And even though I may be afraid to live from my heart.
And even though I may be afraid to live from my heart.
I choose to deeply and completely.
I choose to deeply and completely.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anyone else who's contributed to this fear.
And maybe anyone else who's contributed to this fear.
They were doing the best they could.
They were doing the best they could.
And I choose to be free.
And I choose to be free.
So now with those, with your fingertips, tapping gently right at the beginning of your eyebrow, right near the center of your face. And we're going to tap through each of these points, usually between 5 and 10 times, but depending on how long the phrase is, it might be longer. So tap at the eyebrow. All this fear of living from my heart.
All this fear of living from the heart.
Now just follow your eyebrow out to the side of your eye. All this fear of living from my heart.
All this fear of living from my heart.
Now right under the middle of your eye, just above your cheek. I've been taught a lot of things in my life.
I've been taught a lot of things in my life.
I'm tapping right under your nose. About why it might not be safe to live from my heart.
About why it might not be safe to live from my heart.
Right under your lower lip, just above your chin. And my heart may have been hurt.
And my heart may have been hurt.
And now right about where your collarbones meet, just below your throat. And I learned to protect my heart.
And I learned to protect my heart.
And just about 4 inches below your armpit. So sometimes I really hide my heart away.
So sometimes I really hide my heart away.
Now with all of your fingertips just tapping on the crown of your head. Which makes it hard to live from my heart.
Which makes it hard to live from my heart.
Back to the eyebrow point. So more often I live from my brain.
So more often I live from my brain.
Side of the eye. And to be more specific.
And to be more specific.
Out of the eye. I often live from the fears in my brain.
I often live from the fears in my brain.
Out of the nose. Or I live from my ego.
Or I live from my ego.
Out of the mouth. Which has a lot more fear than I acknowledge.
which has a lot more fears than I acknowledge.
Collarbone. And how's that working for me?
And how is that working for me?
Under the arm. Is it creating a life that I love?
Is it creating a life that I love?
Top of the head. Part of me might say,
Part of me might say,
eyebrow point, no, but it makes me a living.
no, but it makes me a living.
Side of the eye. But is it really living?
But is it really living?
Under the eye. To really live.
To really live.
Under the nose, I need to spend at least some time living from my heart.
I need to spend at least some time living from my heart.
Under the mouth. And when I do that,
And when I do that,
collarbone, I more naturally share my gifts and talents.
I more naturally share my gifts and talents.
Under the arm, which makes the world a better place.
Which makes the world a better place.
Top of the head. For me and others.
For me and others.
Eyebrow point. And I can inspire others to do the same.
And I can inspire others to do the same.
Side of the eye. There are so many good reasons to live from the heart.
There are so many good reasons to live from the heart.
Under the eye. But I might have old reasons for not doing that.
And I might have other reasons to not do that.
Under the nose. And I choose to clear those.
And I choose to clear those.
Onto the mouth. Because most, if not all of them,
because most, if not all of them,
collarbone, are misunderstandings.
Are misunderstandings.
Under the arm. Mine or somebody else's.
Mine or somebody else's.
Top of the head. I choose to clear up any confusion.
I choose to clear up any confusion.
Eyebrow point. I choose to be open to the possibility.
I choose to be open to the possibility.
Side of the eye. That it's safe for me to live from my heart.
That it's safe for me to live from my heart.
Under the eye. It's good for me to live from my heart.
It's good for me to live from my heart.
Under the nose. And when I really allow myself to do that.
And when I really allow myself to do that.
Under the mouth. I more naturally allow miracles.
I more naturally allow miracles.
Collarbone. I more naturally allow the things that are really good for me.
I more naturally allow the things that are really good for me.
Under the arm. So I'm choosing to live more from my heart.
So I'm choosing to live more from my heart.
Top of the head. In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. And with your eyes closed again, go ahead and look inside and say, I choose to live from my heart and share my gifts. Hopefully that feels even more peaceful, more open, more joyful.
It does.
And then please and thank you for doing that. We're waiting.
It feels great. Thank you so much. Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
What do you think will happen when everybody will live from the heart?
Oh my goodness. Heaven on earth. You know, because when we're living from the heart, we see so much hurtful behavior out there and aggressive behavior, and that comes from fear. It's not that people are evil, it's that people are in pain, they're sick, they're scared. And as we allow ourselves to move through that stuff and come from the heart, it's like, why would I want to hurt somebody? We may choose to live differently, but we can live and let live and find ways. And we don't need to insist that everybody does things the way we do. It's like, hey, here's my way. What is your way? There is no the way.
Yeah, and then we move in the world with curiosity and openness. Yeah.
Much more pleasant.
So much. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for everything. Do you have something you would like to add for the people listening to us?
My final thing I usually say is give yourself permission to love yourself more. That's really, it's so much easier to live from the heart when we allow ourselves to love ourselves. And if you have any reasons why you couldn't or shouldn't, please tap those away. Mm-hmm. Because the more you love yourself, the more you see how worthy and deserving you are of love, the more naturally you see that of other people. And then you can help them see that. And that definitely moves towards us all living from the heart.
Thank you. How can people find you? Although we do have a piece of answer. And what do you offer? What are your offers? What have you been creating lately?
Well, easiest place to find me is on my website, tapwithbrad.com, and all over social media at tapwithbrad, certainly on YouTube. At my website, you'll find links to my videos, links to translations of my videos, links to my children's book and the translations of that. You will find the different courses that I offer. I have different online programs. I have live workshops that I do, work with clients one-on-one. And I'm just about to start a very large tour around the U.S. because I love doing live events. And so I thought, you know what, I got to get out on the road and take it to the people.
Beautiful. And to me, you're a superstar, so it fits totally with touring.
I keep playing. There are a few people over the years who said, "Oh, you're like the rock star of EFT," and I don't know
Totally.
about that, but it's a fun idea. And so it's like, wow, then I should do a proper rock and roll road tour.
Do you have a bus?
I haven't, not a bus yet. I'm actually going out today to start looking at vans for what my tour bus will be.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for everything, and I will definitely put your links so that people can find you easily.
Thank you so much, Anne-Claire.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for your presence. If you've enjoyed this episode, share it, like it, save it. You can follow me and connect with me via social media and my website, simply with my name, Anne-Claire Méret. See you soon with more content from the heart.